This wasn't predictable. Left-handed starter. Anaheim 7-21 at home this year. And offensively, I mean, there's a lot to get into. Obviously, the Padres scored just one run. They had chances for more than that. They were 0 for 6 with men in scoring position. They ran into a couple of outs, including one at home plate. So there was a lot to get into. Anaheim over San Diego 2-1 in the opener. Padres will try to bounce back with Adam Mazur making his major league debut tomorrow in game 2 of the series. And all of a sudden you look up and the Padres are just one measly game over 500. So make your way in. We're here for the next hour. John and Jim, please subscribe. We have year-round Padres content for you. We got over 6,300 subscribers last night with your help. We're on our way to 6,400. Please subscribe. We do have year-round content for you, the home of real Padres talk. So please subscribe. Smash the like button for us. You can follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. We see some supers have already rolled in. We appreciate your support of the channel. You can click the $ below the chat box. We'll get to every single super chat here tonight. Also, if you want to become a member, you get custom emojis and badges. Matt Waldron, really good. Where do you start here? I mean, I think you can surmise the game in that one moment where Profar's thrown out at home plate, and you kind of took the bat away from Manny Machado with one out when Tim Leeper waved around Profar. The benefit of hindsight, not a good decision. He was out by 10 or 15 feet. There's no question about that. Was it the difference between winning and losing? It absolutely could have been in a close 2-1 loss today in Anaheim. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, it wasn't the reason they lost. I mean, it was a big moment in the game for sure. I mean, it was thrown out by 10 feet, but you get a leadoff double in the 8th inning?
Yes, with Profar.
With Profar, and it was kind of a gift, by the way, because Adele got
gift.
A lot of glove on that, and he just, didn't time it right. He stepped back on the ball, and so you get a gift, runner at second. And I think Toddy first pitch swinging, grounds out. No. Sorry. Fly ball to right.
Yeah, but shallow.
Then they walk Manny. Solano flies out, I think, first pitch, like foul territory, if I'm not mistaken.
Does it pop up? Yeah, foul territory, first base side, yeah.
And then Cronenworth flies out to deep short.
Right.
That's where I would get more upset than with what happened with Leeper.
Right, then aggressive send.
I almost every single time, unless it's like straight up egregious, like a fly ball to shallow right field. But more often than not, I applaud aggressiveness because you're forcing the Angels to make a perfect play, which they did. And Schulte even talked about it.
Perfect play, though? I mean, listen, nobody likes Tim Leeper more than I do because I've known him for 20 years. But, I mean, just from a baseball perspective, I mean, he was.
It wasn't great. It wasn't great.
Even Mike Schill post-game.
Right. It wasn't great.
Who defended Leeper. He always, he defends his own, as he should.
He'll defend anything.
But as he should. I have no problem with that. And by the way, third base coaches are not supposed to be 100% accurate. Okay, like over the course of 162, you're going to get some guys thrown out. He hasn't cost
him like 10 games this year.
I don't even know if he's cost him one, potentially tonight. But the one thing you could read into tonight with Schilt was what he said. He said, we don't want to run. And when I read between the lines, he was basically saying, if someone's got to make a bang play, we're okay with that aggressive base running. But if it's not bang, like truthfully, Profar, I don't even know if 10 feet's right. He never even got to home plate. He was probably out by more like 15 to 20 feet.
It was bad.
I watched it again. He was out by a lot. Now, again, the ball was not played well in left. It was just, I get it, but he was out by a lot. And again, it wasn't a bang play. So I think with hindsight, I think Tim Leeper probably wouldn't send him. But again, it's like, you're not going to be perfect in those spots. The issue is the circumstance. Because if you don't send him, Jim, it's second and third one out for Manny, who had homered and is hot. He's hit, whatever. He's reached base in like 13 straight, homered here today. Now, he might strike out. We have no clue. But that's the only – I feel like that's the issue. You got Manny on deck. It's second and third one out, and who knows what happens. We'll never really know.
I have an idea. How about you don't only score one run versus the worst home team in baseball, and then we're not sitting here talking about a bad send.
I agree completely.
Like, it's not that hard. They're the best road team in baseball facing the worst home team in baseball, and it now makes yesterday's loss look even worse. And we talked about it today. You can't let yesterday's loss turn into 2 straight losses, right? Because it just is one of those things that you're not a good home team. And even if you do finish up this road trip 4-2, it's not going to feel like the greatest 4-2 road trip because you've left a lot of shit to be on the table.
Yeah, it felt like a moment like yesterday. If you would have asked me 24 hours ago, I thought they were staring at a 5-1 trip because they led by 2 in the 9th inning. So you're thinking sweep, and then you're thinking, well, now just beat the lowly Angels 2 out of 3 times, and you could have a 5-1 trip. We don't even know if it's a 4-2 trip. They got to win by an Adam
Yeah.
Mazur, and they're facing a left-handed starter tomorrow, and they can't hit left-handed pitching.
That's the other point, is why tonight's game was important, because you got a rookie on the mound that you have no idea where you're going to get from tomorrow. You have no clue. Okay. And he's going to be on a pitch limit and an inning limit. He's in his entire career, John, I think he's pitched like 140 something innings in his entire career. Minors, all in the minors, 140 innings. Okay. He's not going to go out there tomorrow, and you're not going to expect to see him for 7 innings. I would be surprised if he gets through 5, honestly. Like, that would be, if he gets through 5 tomorrow, like, you take that. Now, I don't think they're saying that we need 5 from him tomorrow. There's probably going to be a pitch limit on for him. But that's another thing, is you have no idea what you're going to get from Mazur tomorrow. And you just had a great outing again from Waldron, and you blew it.
Yeah, I wouldn't think he'd be on some crazy pitch count because he's been starting in the minor leagues. Now, he hasn't gone more than 6 innings in any outing this year. But I think 5 innings is reasonable to hope for with a guy that is a starting pitcher. So, like, yeah, I'm with you. Like, when you start thinking about his innings down the road, if he's got to make 10, 12, 15 starts, that's going to become a question. How many innings can he throw for you? I'm hoping that he can give them 5 innings tomorrow, no matter what it looks like, because he is a starter and he's built up. Let's get to our first super of the day. There's a lot to react to as the Padres lose to the Angels 2-1. I mean, not the way you want to start this series in front of all these Padres fans. Someone put in the chat, it's funny. It's like way too many Padres fans. Like, it didn't feel like a road game, or way too many Padres fans there today. JD Gaucho, thank you. I mean, this is kind of fair. Thank you for the supers. Just chalk it up to, quote unquote, that's baseball and on to tomorrow. I mean, a couple of things in here. Kim, running into an out at third. There was one out. The ball was completely mishandled and left. It was a bang play, kind of. Maybe it was out by 5 feet. I can live with it. I thought that was less egregious than probably the send there, or Profar was out. But I'm with you. I think you got to capitalize in the 8th inning. Top of the 8th inning, got to capitalize. Runner at second, nobody out against the lowly Angels. Move him over and get him in. The Angels did it in the bottom of the inning. They moved over a leadoff double and got him in. The Angels did. You got to do the same in the top of the inning.
And it's not even just that. It's the entirety of this team can't hit left-handed pitching if their life depended on it. You got that mammoth home run from Manny in the first.
Yep.
And you just went goose egg the rest of the game. And it's not like Tyler Anderson only pitched 2 innings. Like, he got into the 7th there, and he got taken out, I think.
I mean, he was mowing them down for a while. He went 6 2/3. So, yeah, worked into the 7th. 6 2/3 innings, 1 run for Tyler Anderson, who's had a great year.
Who I'm kind of sitting here like, I hope he's a Padre coming, month and a half here, right?
Yeah.
But
a lot of people are probably thinking that.
But at the same time, like, this is a recurring issue that is happening way too often with this team. And the deeper you get into the season, the more of it becoming your identity it becomes. Last year's identity of the team was they can't win run games, and they can't win in extra innings. And that shit went the entire year. And what did everyone say? Oh, they'll turn it around. They'll eventually win an extra inning game here or there. Well, guess what? They didn't until the last series of this freaking season. And they were one of the worst one-run teams in all of baseball last year. And that became their identity, along with they couldn't hit with runners in scoring position. This team's identity is becoming 3 things. They suck at home. They're
good on the road.
Good on the road, and they can't hit left-handed pitching. That's not like the best combination to have, by the way. That's actually like recipe for 500. And guess what? They're 32-31.
It's a recipe that's hard to kind of keep up with, because it's hard to win consistently on the road the way they've won. And you're almost due for regression. Now you're due for positive regression at home, regression to the mean at home, but you're due for negative regression on the road. And, there's no guarantee they win this series. I mean, they got to win the next 2 games, which they've done before. They've lost game 1s and won the next 2. Their first sweep will have to wait, by the way, for at least another series. I mean, you're pushing the halfway mark of the season before the Padres can earn A sweep. Let's get to the next super of the day. Thanks, guys. Please subscribe. You're on content for Padres fans. Smash the like button. And again, thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. As you know, we'll get to every single super chat. If you want to become a member, I saw one just rolled in. You'll get custom emojis and badges. We'll get to that in a moment. David, spot on. We talked about this. We joked about it. We lost because it was a home game, Petco Park North. Nicely done, Padres fans. Stay away tomorrow. Stay away or wear Angels gear.
Yeah, they're too close to Petco Park, even though they played well at Dodger Stadium.
True. That's true. That's a funny super chat. And then this from Richard. Thank you, Richard. He says, you sat on the fastballs all game. Anderson gave you off-speed pitches. Sending Profar with Manny up is all you need to know about your scoring struggles. Now, this is an interesting point because they've scored by and large on the road. One of the best scoring teams in baseball on the road.
Kansas City was really good.
But they didn't really score yesterday. And
3 runs.
Oh, they did. Yeah, that's right. I thought they lost 3-1. They lost 4-3.
They scored 7 runs on Saturday, 11 runs on Friday, and 3 runs yesterday. They lost.
Yeah, it's not scoring struggles. I mean, it's a 1-1 game. I get trying to force the issue. Like sending Profar, you're like, hey, man, it's the difference between having a lead or not. So, like, you're trying to force the issue in a close, tight game. It was 1-1, right?
When today? Yeah, 1-1.
Yeah, when Profar was sent. So, I mean, I understand it. I just think with the benefit of hindsight, I wouldn't have done it. I don't think it's an easy decision. It's a decision on the fly. And he was out by a lot. And I think if he had it to do over again, and this will happen, I think he would probably not send him, knowing that he was out by 10 or 15 feet. And to your point, I don't know if that's the only reason why they lost. I think it's one of the reasons why they lost today.
I got to watch the play again. I'm going to watch.
He's out by a lot.
I know. I just want to see where like the ball and everything exactly was.
I mean, it was a bad throw from the left fielder because it was bounced to the cutoff man. He was still out by 15 feet.
All right, I'm watching it again. All right, rope down the left field line.
Mm-hmm.
Into the corner. Good bounce off. Oh yeah, that's a bad send.
I mean, where was Profar when the cutoff man threw the ball?
Okay, so Profar
had he
literally
just touched third?
The second that the cutoff man caught the ball, he was halfway to home plate.
What? It's like the best cutoff throw ever?
Basically, the ball was in flight before he touched third base. And then as soon as
the ball from the cutoff man was in flight?
Yeah.
Oh, then then you can't send him.
Yeah. And it looked like the second that the cutoff man threw it, he was like a quarter of way to home plate.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a recipe for it's not going to work. I mean, the cutoff man's 110 feet from home. I mean,
it was a good relay. I mean, anything could go wrong there, like the bounce off the wall wrong, but it would bounce right to the left fielder.
Let me ask you this.
Let me ask you. Let's do the math for a second. Let's say it's 49-51 you score there. That's still decent odds. I'm saying as in your aggressiveness pays off 49% of the time. Just hear me out. Even if it's 50-50. Tell me it's 50-50. Is that a better percentage than Manny Machado coming through with one of the following things? Ground ball gets the run in, sac fly gets the run in, base hit gets the run in. Does he have a 50% success rate with runners at third and less than 2 outs this year? I have no idea. He might be Toddy does. I saw they popped up on the screen the other day. He was at 70% the other day. Machado, I don't know if he's better than 50% success rate in those spots. Now, that doesn't take in the here and now where he's been better over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I would less than 2 outs. I mean, if there was 2 outs there, I understand it.
Yep.
Even then, you're like, okay, Manny's up. Now he hasn't come through. He hasn't been that clutch this year. He's not been that clutch this year. He's had good moments and he's heating up a little bit. Like it's a slow burn. It's not like a red hot right away burn.
Right.
It's a slow burn.
3 hits every game.
Yeah, it's a slow burn for sure. But yeah, less than 2 outs there. I'm holding Profar.
Yeah, I think that's right, and I think that's maybe lesson learned. We'll see what happens.
And then you'd have runners at second and third with 1 out and Manny up. But here's another thing too that you might think of, and I don't know if he thought of it in the moment. I mean, maybe runners at second and third with 1 out. Maybe Ron Washington walks Manny there.
Well, he probably would have because he intentionally walked him twice. To
So
your point.
maybe he walks him and tries his luck with Donovan Solano instead.
And that worked for him 1 or 2 times today, right?
It worked for him in the 8th inning when they walked Manny and Donovan Solano popped out, I think, first or second pitch.
So, okay, let's just go to the 7th real quick. When did this damn inning happen?
I think it was the 6th, right?
It was the 6th. So 1 out walk to Profar, then the double into the corner. He's thrown
Profar out
out.
at home.
Now they walk Manny anyway.
So, yeah.
So they would have okay, so you would have bases loaded 1 out for Solano. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. He's hit well, obviously, as a Padre. That's a big spot. Nobody knows what's going to happen in that spot.
Was Anderson still on the mound that moment?
He was, because he walked into the 7th.
So
it's unpredictable.
It is. And there's no guarantee that Manny would even have a chance to drive in a run there
probably
with a base open because, Washington probably walks him.
Yep.
So,
so there's
that's
a lot of conversation about you took the bat out of Manny's hands. He probably wouldn't have had it in his hands in that spot.
Yeah, a base open. Yeah, he's going to walk him. So maybe it was definitely was an aggressive send, but if that's also the thinking, then I mean, you kind of understand it, but still, it was when you're out by that much. Unfortunately, that's on the third base coach, and he's probably sitting there tonight kicking himself.
Yeah. By the way, it's going to happen. I mean, again, it's a lot of sends over a season. You can't be perfect, and he hasn't been, and you can't. It's hard to be perfect. Johnny Blaze, thank you for becoming a member. If you want to become a member, click the join button down below. You get emojis and badges like the Schulte emoji. Johnny, you can use that Schulte emoji right now. We don't have a leapy emoji or a leap year.
Usually don't have a emoji for third base coach, unfortunately.
Coming soon. Murray, thank you, man. He says, John and Jim, I'm back. Ticker good. Thanks for the prayers. That's right. Murray was, I think, under the weather is probably putting it very lightly, but dealing with illness, but is back here in the chat. Murray, we've been thinking about you. How about some prayer emojis for Murray or clap emojis or great to have you here emojis?
Yeah. Welcome back, man. Welcome back.
Good to have you back. Thank you for your support of the channel. Glad to hear that. Definitely been thinking about you. So thank you. Those good vibes hopefully carry over for the Padres over the next couple of days in Anaheim. We're going to get to Mark Nimitz in a second, but I mean, additionally, I mean, they didn't really, they were 0 for 6 with men in scoring position, but it didn't feel as if they put a lot of pressure on throughout the course of the game. That's probably a credit to Tyler Anderson. Then we saw the Angels A team, right? We saw their good bullpen, whatever that's worth. They went for it, and to Ron Washington's credit, it paid off. Like, I thought it was a really well-managed game by Ron Washington, and it paid off. And I don't think it was some poorly managed game by Mike Schilt, but the difference in a close game, right, was they took advantage, moved runners, and the Padres had a guy thrown out at home plate. But it'll be interesting to see what Anaheim has tomorrow. Again, their lefty's nowhere near as good as Tyler Anderson tomorrow. He's got a 5.5 ERA. They've used the 18 of their bullpen. Maybe they can go back to it again tomorrow because they've been so bad. But it's like, okay, you lost to Tyler Anderson. Now go beat whoever else you got to face the next 2 days because you ain't facing Tyler Anderson.
You know what? One thing Schulte does a lot of that I'm noticing. He's not big on giving guys like the start of the innings, like clean innings. Like Morahone pitched an inning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he brings in Estrada with 1 out in the 7th. Or no, the 8th,
got that spot because he was trying to get a strikeout, right?
He was, but then you're also thinking to yourself, why not just bring him in to start the inning?
Okay, so walk me through this one more time. So Morahone works a scoreless 6th and is back out there in the 7th?
No. Waldron pitched 6 1/3, so Morahone works
finishes the 7th.
Finishes the 7th. All right.
Okay.
Then he comes out, immediately gives up that double off the wall. Then I think fly ball moves the runner over to 3rd.
And then they go to
Estrada, fly ball, sac fly to center. You bring in Estrada to get the strikeout, but you're also asking yourself, why not just bring Estrada in to start the 8th?
100%. 100% agree.
And he does that a lot.
And by the way, after the Adele double, why isn't Estrada coming in there as opposed to Morejon getting another batter. He flies out to right. Again, we don't know if it's going to be different. I have no clue.
Right.
But he gets all these swings and misses. I mean, at almost a record rate, right?
But, it's like you're not – I forget who we had on. Maybe it was I talked to Kevin last Friday. I don't remember. Or no, I think it was Scott Miller. And he was like, look, at some point, the strikeouts are not going to always be there. Like, you're not going to strike out the entire world every single time.
Sure.
And
no. That was
who was that?
No, it was David J today.
Oh yeah, David J. Sorry, you're right.
Yep.
David J. My bad.
Mad Friars.
Yeah, and he's absolutely right. Like right now in the season, Estrada has been fantastic. 30 strikeouts in 18 and 2/3 innings. Amazing.
It's like historically good.
Yeah. I mean, 0.7 whip and a 0.48 ERA. Like what?
Yeah.
But you're not going to strike out every batter you face. And while he's getting outs, the last 2 times he's been out there when he's needed a strikeout, it doesn't happen. And the run scored happened in Kansas City. And then it happened tonight where yes, he's a strikeout pitcher, and that's what you're hoping for there. But the last 2 times that you've asked him to get a strikeout, guess what? It wasn't a strikeout, and the run scored.
But that's inherited runs scored there. You're asking way too much of him because even the best strikeout pitcher in the history of baseball isn't striking out batters at higher than 50% clip.
And all you need to do is just get the ball in the air. And guess what? The last 2 times that Estrada's been in a strikeout situation with a runner on third, less than 2 outs in Kansas City and tonight, both of those times he gave up the run. Well, the inherited run.
But that's got nothing to do with him. Agreed?
No, it's not. I agree. Nothing to do with him. It's all about Schulte, like loving to have these guys finish off innings and then start the next inning and then bring in another dude in the middle of an inning instead of starting a clean inning.
But he didn't do it with Wandy Peralta in a 7-3 game on Saturday.
Yeah. He's an odd, it's hard to get a gauge on his bullpen style. Like he's aggressive in some moments and then he's too lackadaisical in other moments. And then in other moments, he leaves guys in there to start, to finish an inning and then start the next inning. And it more often than not bites him in the ass.
With benefit of hindsight stuff, like Leaper, sure. Today, benefit of hindsight stuff. You're in a 1-1 game, bottom of the 8th inning. Okay, so here's what he's thinking. I'm not going to Estrada clean inning 8th. Here's my guess on what he's thinking. I go Estrada for the 8th. Well, I'm not going to Suarez for the 9th in a 1-1 game. So he's trying to delay it off because on the road, he's not playing for a tie. He's not trying to extend the game really the same way. He wants Suarez with a lead. Now, he might get it if they score in the top of the 9th inning. Maybe he's playing for that. But, you're trying not to go to Estrada unless you need to go to Estrada, I guess is what he's thinking. Because it's 1-1. You don't have a lead.
And more likely than not, Matsui's not going to be available. De Los Santos is not going to be available. Suarez and Estrada were available tonight, even though Estrada threw 32 pitches on Saturday. I see Rich in the chat. You ripped me a month ago on those. Well, because a month ago, I didn't think this was going to turn into a pattern.
I don't think he's been bad with his bullpen. I really don't. I think the last 2 days or the last 4 days haven't exactly been great. But I don't think he's been egregious with his bullpen.
If anything, I think some moves that he's made to be uber aggressive have gotten them some wins when maybe they shouldn't have gotten wins.
Probably true.
With Robert Suarez, and then others, he might have mismanaged, and those are on him. And I think it's kind of evened out to, guess what, a 500 record basically. Right?
Yeah, this whole idea, real quick on that, and then I want to get to Mark Nimitz. This idea that I'm saying it. This narrative, they got beat up on these bad teams. Do we know if the Padres are a good one though? I think they have the ability to be a good one, but right now they're a middling.
They're an average team,
500 team.
They're average.
So if you're average, are you really supposed to clean up against bad teams? Good teams should clean up against bad teams. What do average teams do against bad teams?
Well, the thought process is even if you're an average team, John, you're still better than the bad teams. So with that in mind, you should be beating up on lesser teams than you.
Yeah, but they're beating up on good teams.
Okay. I know. And that's probably what the good teams are thinking when they play the Padres. Like, we're losing to this 500 team. Like, I'm sure the Royals probably thought to themselves this weekend, we're one of the best home teams in all of baseball, even though if you kind of dive deeper, they beat the shit out of the bad teams, and they're not really good against the good teams in baseball. I think they were like 7-12 first teams over 500. But what do you think they're probably saying? Like, we're the best home record in baseball, or one of the best home records in the American League in baseball, and we just lost to basically a 500 team, 2 out of 3 games. We could have got swept.
All right, Mark Nimitz is our title sponsor. Mark isn't thrilled. We need to get into Luis Ariz as well. They need Luis Ariz. I mean, for this offense really to go, they're going to need Luis Ariz. So hopefully he's back in the lineup tomorrow. Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance is our title sponsor. Guys, I've told you about Mark for years. I've had insurance policies through Mark 4 years, homeowners and life insurance and earthquake insurance. If you switch your insurance to Mark, he will save you money, potentially $750 or more. In addition to that, if you ever need him, he is there for you. He's a great insurance agent. You can take that from me. He saved my family so much time and money a couple of years ago, and we had to file a claim. We were out of our house for a couple of weeks, and Mark took care of everything, and I really do thank him for that. He is a lifelong Padres fan, a native San Diego, and he does much more than what I told you. He does auto, home, renters, condo, whatever your insurance need is. Click the link in the description down below. You can get to his website. You can get free quotes online or call Mark, and he'll give you free quotes as well, and he'll talk to you about the Padres. So the next time you have a renewal, before you renew, call Mark. If you're looking for information on a new policy, get in contact with Mark Nimitz, the title sponsor of the Wrap-Up Show. If you support the channel, support Mark Nimitz by clicking the link in the description down below.
Yep, all his information on that ticker, mnimitz at farmersagent.com. And you reach out to our buddy Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap-Up Show sent you.
Our new member, Johnny Blaze. Thank you, Johnny, for the membership.
Johnny,
thank you for the super
great
chat.
name, Johnny Blaze.
So it is a very good name, Johnny. So is Blaze. It sounds like an American gladiator.
John's like a name, but
shut up.
I like the last name.
I'll be at the game tomorrow. You think Ariz will play? I mean, I thought Ariz was going to play today, so I can't say for certain, and I'm a little bit concerned that he didn't play here today. He was quote unquote sore. I'm hopeful, Jim, that he plays tomorrow. He said yesterday he was going to play today. So I don't know, but I'm hopeful, and I know they need him.
Let me just say this. I don't trust the Padres with injuries at all. Never. So whenever he's back on the field is when I will feel good about Luis Ariz. Like I just don't trust this franchise when it comes to relaying injury news to the media and the public. I just don't. They'll say one thing, and then a day later it completely changes. Guy gets an MRI, everything checks out fine. Next day, broken shoulder, out for the year. Like, hey, his arm's a little a little sore, and then the next day, 15-day IL, and then it's like, oh, he finished off the season great. We just signed him to a contract, Tommy John surgery. Oh, he's getting a couple of other opinions, but we hope to hear good news in the future, Tommy John surgery. Like, just never trust the Padres when it comes to injury news, ever. And the only time I'll feel good about any of these players that are injured is when they're back on the field playing. That's just how I feel.
I agree with what you're saying. I'm not overly convinced he'll play tomorrow, but we'll see. By the way, I'm watching back the Profar play because Padres blogger has it on his Instagram.
Okay.
Because he sat in the first row.
Okay.
And the angle he has on it, like to your point, I can even stop it. Like Profar is well around third before that relay cut. Like it was a damn good.
So about almost halfway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling. I see it's out of his hand, and now he's on the grass, back of third, and Profar's a good 35 feet down the line.
Okay, so great.
This thing got out quick, and it was a very good throw. Now, again, didn't have to be perfect. Again, I'm all for it, and we'll get to a super right here. I understand the criticism. I really do. Like this from Audrey. Thank you for the super. He says, Leaper's been bad, John. First base coach, not third. Ridiculous. You're saying he should be a first base coach. Okay. No, I understand the criticism, certainly in this instance. And maybe you can agree to disagree with me. I was critical to start the show. I'm watching another angle of it. I didn't think it was egregious. You want to tell me it was bad? You could say it was bad considering the circumstance. Manny on deck, but Manny was going to get intentionally walked. Like, it's a pretty good relay. Like, that's what you said 5 minutes ago. I was kind of like, no, Jim, I think he's out by a mile. I think it's a pretty quick, fast. Again, major leaguers should have good relays. Watch it on Padres Blogger on his Instagram story. See, it's like 5th, 6th, 7th thing, but you'll find it quick. You can pause it too. I mean, I think it's a pretty good relay. And when you look at it in live real time, like, it probably isn't 15 feet. He's probably out by like 8, 10 feet, which again is a good amount, but it's not crazy.
All right, so here's
that's good to see. Okay, so he's got the ball in his hand or he's just threw it? That's where I stopped it.
He's like literally just releasing it.
And look at Profar. He's well around third.
So he's just releasing it now, and Profar's there.
Play that throw.
Oops, sorry.
No. Do that one more time.
Sorry.
That was actually pretty good.
Mark. Here we go. I mean, it's a bang. I mean,
it's not bang bang, but I do think it's a decent relay.
Shout out to Mark Bartlett. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually helpful. It's a helpful angle. It's a real helpful angle.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, when Profar then the ball's thrown, he's like, it looked like he was almost halfway down the line.
Yeah, no, I agree. It took a long time to develop. The throw from left bounced to the cut, man. And then the cutoff throw was quick in one motion.
Now, if that ball bounces any other way in left field, he's safe. It was a perfect bounce off the wall. The left fielder, quick relay, and it was a quick relay from the cutoff man to home.
It was.
So, again, as I said to start, like, I more often than not praise aggressiveness in those moments because you're forcing the other team to make a perfect play. You know, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It wasn't like, you know, it was a tie game. It's a tie game.
Yeah, exactly. You're not trailing. I mean, he follows up, Audrey, and thank you, he or she, and says the guy's talking about Leaper. The guy's 58, has made at least 7 mistakes so far.
Okay.
I mean, the fact he's 58.
Bring back Flannery, not happening.
I mean, guys, we were just as critical of other third base coaches. It's a hard position. It's not managing. That's way harder and way more criticism on the manager.
If we're going to sit here and blame
he's 58, I mean, who cares?
God, if the team doesn't make the postseason and I hear anybody say, if it wasn't for Tim Leaper, we'd make the postseason. Shut up. Okay? Shut up. You don't know baseball if you're sitting here and being like, fuck, this team could have at least 7 or 8 more wins without Tim Leaper on the freaking team.
Yeah, he's not going to be perfect. I mean, I would guess if we watch the other 29 teams, they've probably made mistakes with the third base coach this year. That's my speculation.
Freaking break. Maybe Manny Machado needs to be better. Maybe Xander Bogaerts needed to be better. Maybe Tatis needs to be better. Ever thought of that?
I mean, and Juan, thank you. He says it takes a perfect throw off the bag. He's safe. I mean, yeah, it was a good throw. I don't know if it takes a perfect throw. It was in my opinion, that's a really good throw.
Great relay.
I thought it was a really good throw. I agree with you. I don't know if it had to be perfect. And then Calvin says he was the first base coach of the Blue Jays, which he was. No business coaching third. Why? I mean, give me a reason as to why. You know, because he hasn't had the same success rate that you would like. By the way, he's coached a ton of third. He was a minor league manager. Minor league managers coach third. So he's coached a ton of third.
Schulte coached third for the team last year. Remember that?
I do remember.
And I'm sure
there's a lot that the particulars of it aren't as like there's actually a decent amount that goes into it. Organizationally, manager, who's in left, circumstance, time and score stuff, right? Like
this right here from Swan. Like seriously, everyone chill. Okay.
Well, I don't know if he's saying it was a routine play, like he's saying like backing us.
I don't know. Maybe he's talking to the chat or us. I don't know. It was a really good relay. It was not the worst send I've ever seen in my world. Or my life. I mean, you have former, UT editors that don't have a job and are kind of grasping onto relevancy, like, blaming Tim Leaper and how egregious it was and blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, but let's maybe look at the rest of the team only scoring 1 fucking run in the game. And That to me was more egregious than the send by Tim Leeper, and also not getting a runner in from second base with no outs in the 8th inning. That's
right. Like
also
you
more
go 2
egregious.
innings later and you're still in the same circumstance. You got a runner at second, nobody out. Is it Tim Leeper's fault that Fernando Tatis Jr. swings the first pitch and flies out to shallow right?
Yeah.
Is it Tim Leeper's fault that Jake Cronenworth pops out and Donovan
Solano? Yeah.
Yeah, like truthfully, that's actually a really good point about that 8th inning. Like, score. Like, find a way to score in that spot. And by the way, they've been very good in those spots. They've taken advantage of close games late. They've capitalized a lot in those spots, but tonight was not that night. And again, there's another area it's hard to be perfect in. I think Tatis is absolutely heated up, had a big hit in this game before Profar was thrown out. So he's definitely been better. But situationally, that was a big spot for Fernando Tatis Jr. who didn't come through in, you know?
Yeah, and Donovan Solano, who's been fantastic for this team as well. You know, at that point, you can't pop out to the first baseman, and he did.
Correct.
And then you put it on Jake. I mean, the second he hits that, you hear Mud go, ugh. I don't know if you heard it, but he's like,
yeah, I think so.
Because that's like the last thing you do. And then it puts all the pressure on Jake to come through. And yeah, then we saw it happen. So
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to get back to the conversation in a moment. We do want to thank our partner here, our brand new partner on the wrap-up show. They've been with us for about a month or so. Our friends at Finleet, local San Diego startup, huge Padres fans, San Diego through and through. Their offices overlook the outfield at Petco Park. This is how we explain Finleet to our viewers. Finleet allows fans to participate in the future earnings of real athletes. Really cool brand. Their first athlete is Shedri Vargas. You can invest in his success and support a rising prospect and get paid a piece of his potential future major league earnings. I explain it like this. Fernando Tatis Jr. did a similar deal with a company called Big League Advance a number of years ago when he was in the minor leagues. He gave up 10% of his future earnings for guaranteed money before he reached the major leagues. He ended up giving up something like $34 or $35 million. Nobody's saying Cedric Vargas is going to sign a $340 million deal. He's one of the top 10 prospects, though, in the Rangers organization, and you never know. And this is your opportunity because he signed for such little money. They're raising capital to allow him to focus on baseball year-round. This is how it works. Like, you scroll down, click the link in the description down below. You can invest for as little as $96, and then you can get a potential investment return. And you can see it in this graph right here. Your $96 could turn into hundreds or thousands of dollars. Your $200, $300, $400, $500 investment could turn into much more than that, depending on Vargas' success, should he reach the big leagues in his career. So really cool company based in San Diego. I mean, the opportunity as an individual to invest in a professional athlete is really, truly unique. And that opportunity is available to you right now by clicking that link in the description down below.
Yeah, all information in the link. Click the link, go to their website, check them out. Mark Grant is an advisor of Finleet. Their offices are right across from Petco Park. Cedric Vargas, the player that we're talking about, Keith Law, very high on him in the Rangers organization. So click the link in the description below, check them out, and we're glad that Finleet's on board with the wrap-up show.
I don't know what to expect from Adam Mazur tomorrow. His AAA numbers were awful, but it's hard to pitch the PCL, and I think there's reasons for it. David J. from Mad Friars tried to explain it to us earlier. Pitching in Vegas, which is a complete hitter's haven. I mean, he only made 4 appearances in AAA. His AA numbers were outstanding. Former second-round pick, hard-throwing, relatively hard-throwing right-hander. I think he said he has that traditional 4-pitch mix for a right-handed starter. So he'll get his first chance. Former second-round pick in 2022, less than 2 years after getting drafted. He will be making his big league debut tomorrow, game 2 of this 3-game series for the Padres against really an anemic offense. Hopefully he has a level of success and keeps the Padres in the game and they find a way to win it.
Yeah, it's going to be a interesting game tomorrow because you don't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he can go 2 innings, blow up, or he can go 5 and pitch really well.
Right.
I think tomorrow, what you would love to see happen is start of that game, Padres put like a 3 spot up in the first inning.
Yes. Yep.
Because then it takes a little bit of the nerve off of him. You know, And if he happens to give up a run in the first inning, it's fine because, the Padres put a couple runs on the board to start the game. And then moving forward in the game, ideally after that, you want the Padres to add on. You want them to have like a, first 4 innings to score like 7 runs. Then it makes things
done it on the road.
They've done it. It makes life so much easier. Now they're also facing a lefty tomorrow. So to put 7 runs on the board versus a lefty, this team, it's like asking me to fly a rocket ship to the moon. Literally impossible. But things could happen. That's the ideal scenario tomorrow for this team and Andy Mazur. And if not, then I don't know. It could go either way.
So as a lot of Padres fans know, obviously Andy Mazur was a radio announcer.
Am I saying Andy Mazur?
Jim has called him Andy 6 times in the last 5 hours on either radio or the wrap-up show. It's happened twice tonight here on the wrap-up show.
Adam Mazur. Andy Mazur, no. Adam Mazur, yes. Adam Mazur.
You're going to screw it up.
Stupid idiot.
It's fine. Yeah, his numbers are good. He's got a 1 whip even this year with the bad AAA numbers.
God, I'm an idiot.
You are an idiot. 3.86 ERA overall. His numbers in AA were really impressive. It's the right time. It's the right time. Like, this is a guy that should get an opportunity in 2024, being a second-round pick with good minor league numbers, and it's necessitated by injury, obviously, with what's going on right now with Darvish and Musgrove. And he might have a lot of opportunities, Jim. Like, this isn't we're not going to put all our eggs in this one start. He might be 3 innings. It might be 6 innings. This is probably not the only start he's going to make for the Padres, considering the circumstance that they're in right now. And I don't think AJ Preller's trading for a starting pitcher tomorrow. Could be wrong. He traded for Luis Arraez in May, but I would think that Adam Mazur is going to get an opportunity here in June to kind of prove himself and make a handful of starts potentially.
Yeah, and with him, I think you just take it one game at a time. You don't say, all right, we're going to pencil this guy in for the next 2 weeks. Like, how does he perform tomorrow? How does he look tomorrow? And then you move forward. Because you could have Johnny Brito become this spot starter for the team, right? You already have Randy Vasquez in the rotation now. Johnny Brito is another guy. You can find another bullpen piece and worry about that. But with Adam Mazur, you just go game by game. If he pitches well tomorrow, guess what? He earns another start. If he pitches poorly tomorrow, then I think you kind of are sitting there discussing what's the other options. And if you don't feel like the other options are good enough, then he's going to get another start. But if you have like back-to-back bad starts, then you're going to have to figure out something to do.
By the way, have we even, we touched on it briefly. Matt Waldron is pitching really well. He had never worked into the 7th inning.
Reincarnated.
And he's now worked into the 7th inning in back-to-back starts. He's got a sub-2 ERA in his last 5 starts. He's getting great movement from his knuckleball. His knuckleball fastball combination has been really good. So he's been beyond effective. We said he's a great number 5. He's proven to be probably more than that, and they're going to elevate him. Obviously, he's no longer number 5 considering the circumstance. But, man, Matt Waldron, I don't know if he's going to do this all year, Jim, but it's very encouraging what they're getting out of him. Credit to Waldron, Niebla, the entirety of the coaching staff on the pitching side. Higashioka, it's whatever's they're working on is working really well right now.
Keep doing it. And he's been fantastic. As a 5th starter, that's amazing. But guess what? Now he's vaulted up into their top 3 with Cease, King, and Waldron. And Waldron's been great. And props to him, credit to him. They just need to score some runs for him.
Yeah, they don't score for him. Did Darnay have it? Darnay ripped you on Twitter earlier, but I think he also put that he's getting 2.7 runs of support.
Should we even look at Darnay's tweets? Because he's getting things wrong. So,
no, he's not.
What do you mean?
He's going to kill. Someone clip that and tag Darnay.
He got the record.
Someone clip that right now.
Team's 32-31, not 32-30. I'm just saying.
No, but he said through 62 games.
You know what, John?
I'm on Team Darnay. John and Darnay, Tuesday. Someone put earlier in the chat, did Jim say on the radio today he's moving to Pennsylvania?
No.
Okay.
No.
Audrey, No.
No.
Audrey, thank you again for the super. He says, would you two put Estrada in to start the 8th? We touched on this earlier, maybe before you got here. Again, with hindsight, yes, because they let it run in the 8th inning. I think maybe you go to him a batter earlier, Jim. There's the leadoff double, and then there's the flyout that moves the runner. We have no clue what would have happened, but maybe you go to Estrada after the leadoff double because he gets so many swings and misses, and there's less likelihood for a runner to advance. That's my thought process on it. You could have started the inning with him, but again, you're in a tie game. It's not traditionally where you go to Estrada than Suarez on the road in a tie game. But again, they allowed a run there, so I guess they could have.
Yeah, no, in a 1-1 game, you're probably thinking to yourself, let's try to get multiple innings from Morejon there.
Yep.
Right? Because on the road, it's different strategy. You're not using your closer in the 9th inning on the road. So you're kind of pushing everything back. But as soon as he gets that double there, you're probably thinking, and maybe that's the two was you couldn't do it because as soon as he gets the double, that's when you get up Estrada, and that's too quick of a time to get him ready to go. Right. So I mean, I get it from that standpoint. Like, okay, he gets the double off the wall. Then it's like, all right, now we have to get Estrada up, and you can't you can only stall for so long, and you have to give at least one more batter to him, and then one more batter, gets the runner to third, and it's like, okay, now we're going to bring in Estrada.
Are we sure he wasn't up to start the inning? Because my question is this: if you're willing to go to Estrada in the 8th, this is always a question with managers. If you're willing to use a pitcher in an inning, why not just start the inning with him? Because they were willing to go to him.
I don't know if he was up. I don't know if he was warming before the double.
But I do know that Mickey Mouse would have put him in the game.
Shut the fuck up. All right, Keaton, thank you for the super chat.
Oh, thank you, Keaton. Appreciate you.
The only thing annoying Keaton more than you is his girlfriend. I drove up to Anaheim with my girlfriend. The send was bad, but Jim's right. Selfish at bats in the 8th inning. Girlfriend is bumping T Swift now, and I'm in my personal hell. LOL.
Bro, just go along with him, man.
I mean, Taylor's got some jams. I mean, she's got some
record. She got some jams, bro. You have a T Swift record?
Oh boy, John has a T Swift record. We can't wait to hear it.
Let's put it on.
No, because we're gonna get copyright infringement.
Oh, we're gonna get copyright infringement, John.
Maybe I don't.
We don't want to get copyright on this. We like YouTube. We want YouTube to like us back.
No, I don't.
Okay, that's good.
Oops.
Oopsies.
I think we bought one at Target, and Kristen was like, the quality's trash.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
All right, guys, here's what I need you to do to shut Jim up. Go to underdogfantasy.com and use promo code PODSRAP.
Promo code PODSRAP.
I am done with you today. Jim is...
Dude,
there's been 100 things today. Only some of them have been ruined by Jim, but at least a few of them have annoyed me.
After the show last night, I go into the bedroom, and Erin's like, "Were you acting like Mickey Mouse?" She's like, "I had to turn the TV off because I thought there were like little kids outside playing." And I'm like, "Yes, I was Mickey Mouse."
Underdog Fantasy, use promo code PODSRAP. You'll get a 50% deposit match up to $250. That's the most they've ever offered in bonus cash, plus a free special pick. It's so simple and easy to win. You can scan the QR code or click the link in the description down below. Let me show you. Is it on the screen? Yeah, it is. So you just choose the Padres game for tomorrow. Now, they only have the Angels up right now, players. But it's as simple as this. Let's say that...
You do the NBA Finals that are going to happen in 3 weeks?
Forget that because that's not until Thursday, but we can get into that. That's fine. Let's say Patrick Sandoval allows higher than 5 hits. All right. That's what we all want. Perfect. It somehow pays 30 times.
Cool.
What?
30 times?
I must have it paired with something. My picks 3? Well, anyway, what the hell? Jim.
What are you doing?
I don't know. Hold on. Let me go back to Underdog. Let's see. What do I have? I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know what you're doing.
Anyway, trust me.
We lost everybody, by the way.
You can combine sports. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code PodsWrap. Get a 50% deposit match up to $250. That's fun. That's not funny, but dude, what are guys doing? Are you telling me you reached the big leagues? Like, you've reached the big leagues as a professional. You know how hard that is? You're grinding away on buses in the minor leagues for years. You're getting traded left and right. It's not that glamorous. You're hoping it pays off in Major League Baseball. And you're betting on baseball, and you're going to be banned for life?
Idiot.
But if you are banned for life, then you use promo code PodsWrap, get the 50% deposit match up to $250.
Promo code PodsWrap. We're good to go.
We didn't even touch on it. It's utter stupidity. It happened during his time with Pittsburgh, either as a farmhand or in the major leagues. Apparently, that's what's being reported by the Wall Street Journal. Whatever, who cares? Right?
Right.
I mean, was he doing anything?
He was in the minor leagues for the Padres. To me, it's what
was he doing?
It's one of those stories. They're like, okay, you're an idiot.
Right.
It's so avoidable that you deserve this. Like, what are you doing?
I mean, I feel bad. Honestly, I do feel bad. Like, that sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. But dude, come on, man. Yeah.
Was he playing this year?
He was in the Padres minor league system. Yeah.
No, I get it, but was he playing? I don't see him having any minor league stats this year.
I don't know.
Maybe a little too much time on, I don't know.
A little too much time betting and not enough time.
So
you tell me Peter Mercado for betting on baseball gets suspended for life, and Shohei Ohtani has no involvement with what happened. He was taken advantage of, right? I just want to get it clear.
No, he was John. He was taken advantage of, and he had no clue what was going on. And also, his other best friend on the Angels at the time was also betting, and he knew nothing about that either.
But nobody bet on baseball, including the translator, right? Didn't bet on baseball.
Shohei's innocent, John.
Okay. But Peter Mercado, get rid of him.
Get rid of him forever. But Shohei is innocent. He didn't know anything about what was going on with his best friend on the Angels and his interpreter, which was also another one of his best friends. So don't blame Shohei for not knowing anything, because he didn't know a damn thing.
Man, could that story have gone away any quicker, considering how large of a story it was and still could be? The most famous baseball player in the world.
The Feds cleaned that up very quickly, by the way.
That got cleaned up real quick. Quick.
Like
that whole thing happened over like a week.
Yeah, it's like, oh, by the way, the Feds found nothing. You're like,
oh, wasn't there
are
some
you
Major
that
League
ignorant,
Baseball
buddy?
investigation?
Are you that ignorant?
Closed that investigation? All right, Jose, thank you for the super chat. Guys, if you're here, please subscribe. We have year-round content for Padres fans. We're the home of real Padres talk. Also, we appreciate your super chats. Great way to support our work. Click the $ below the chat box. Jose says, I believe we found our fifth starter in Waldron. I think you might have found your third.
He's like their third starter. He's like their fucking ace right now.
These are ace. The knuckleball and sweeper were moving. I wish we had a better backup than a Zokar out there playing. Wish Schild went to Peralta earlier. Well, I was hoping they were going to call upon Luis Arraez. I was hoping for that, like, Walt Frazier moment. Here comes Luis Arraez out of the dugout, like, hobbling without, like, a shoulder. Like, he's just swinging with one arm.
I can't feel my arm.
Ropes the ball through the left side or something. But it was not to be.
The second that they put David Peralta up, you knew he was not available.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. If you're not available to pinch hit tonight, you're now starting tomorrow?
Again, I don't trust this team with injuries ever. They can tell me one thing, and I'll be like, okay, cool. I'll believe it when I see it. Like, that's how I feel with this organization. They have never been forthright. They've never been fully truthful. And that's just how AJ Preller and this organization rolls. They will give you as little as possible, and they'll tell you the sky is green, and you're expected to believe it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Listen, watching the play, Arraez looked hurt, but then he, in his own words, said, I'm in there tomorrow. And the Padres are like, not so fast.
And so maybe this is more from the player. It wasn't like Schulte was like, oh, yeah, he'll be in there tomorrow type of thing.
Right.
But it's always interesting how, like, oh, he's fine. Like, oh, he's a little sore. Oh, he had to get an MRI. Oh, we actually found a broken bone. Like that's just how it works with this organization. Every single time it seems like, oh, his shoulder's not that bad. Oh, he's on the IL. Oh, his elbow. It's just precautionary. He's on the IL for his elbow. Comes back right back on the IL for the elbow. There's hope that he comes back this year, aka we're probably not expecting him to come back this year, aka we don't want to tell you because we never want to talk about injuries, aka guess what? He's having Tommy John. Like that's what happens with this organization every time.
Well, okay, well, let me ask you this. Would you be cautious with Arise considering you're playing all these games?
Yes.
There's no off days in here. You're playing the freaking Angels. I know you
Yes.
just lost today. Season's not on the line. It's June 3rd. Would you prefer they give him the extra day? I mean, that's probably the wise move here. The
Yes.
wise move is probably say, listen, if you were sore today and you can't pinch hit, we're going to give you another 24 hours. The world's going to keep spinning.
Right.
And hopefully we can win a game without you. And if not, we play again Wednesday. I mean, I think that's probably prudent. But again, I get it from a Padres fan perspective. Everyone's like, get this dude in the lineup. We can't score without him.
If he's truly just like sore, then I'm not. And then I would.
No, but he can't be sore, dude. I'm sore every morning, but I could have gotten
Well,
up there and swung.
what I mean
bat.
is like his mobility is compromised to where like he moves. He's like it's like a muscle strain, right? Or something along those lines. Then I'm erring on the side of caution for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Again, I think. Well, I knew, dude. I said when they didn't have a lineup out at 3:38.
Yeah,
I'm
they were
like,
testing him out. Yeah,
something's interesting here, and
weird.
then he ended up not being in the lineup. So maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. Again, I don't care if Horizon's in the lineup or not. Just win. Like if he's not in the lineup, that's not an excuse. If he is in the lineup, it's not. Just win.
Right.
Win the next two, everything's fine. 4-2 trip, if you can do it, everything's great. You're 3 games over 500. Anything less than that is going to be seen as a disappointment because that means you're going to lose the series to the LA Angels. So find a way to win. We will talk more about it tomorrow at 3 p.m. on John and Jim. If you have not subscribed to the John and Jim YouTube channel, you should consider it. It costs you nothing. You have to search for John and Jim on YouTube, which isn't very hard to do.
No, it's like attached to our wrap-up show YouTube on our
Is it?
front page.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where?
Remember my first time looking at our YouTube page?
You're saying, where is it attached?
Like you just scroll and it's there.
I don't see it. How? I don't know how to do that. But I don't know how to do a lot of things. Anyway, search for John and Jim 760.
Here,
Follow
hold
us
on.
on YouTube.
Hold
Put
on.
in a link.
That's no. Stop it.
Okay.
Hold on. All right.
I'm going to find it.
No. This is what we're doing.
Okay.
Just to show you and to prove my point.
Okay.
Okay.
Prove it.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Here we go. See that? All right. Scroll down. Oh, subscribe,
I
John
can't see
and
that.
Jim.
I can't see it. It's on the screen.
Oh, sorry. Boom.
Oh.
Wrap up
How'd
show
you do that?
page. Subscribe to John and Jim.
How'd you link it like that?
Because like I know how to do things on the internet.
I don't.
I know you don't. So then you just click here, or you hit the
I just
subscribe
put a link.
button, and then you go boom, and then you can watch our great videos.
What type of, like my Adam Mazer video I just posted
Right.
during the game? There's
Blowing
no
up.
views.
It's blowing up.
You know what? Since we're being shameless right now, I'm pushing merch.
Okay.
But to do that, I would have to go to the website that would allow me to push merch. So let's push merch. Like, guys, if you're here,
Push March, John.
you're probably
Sell our
fans of the
shirts.
wrap up. Who
Sell
wants
our
my
shirts.
hat? Who wants my hat?
What's that? Who
Shut
wants
up.
a hat? Oh boy.
Can I eject you?
Eject.
Okay, he's done. Here's the thing.
You can't get rid of me. I will
Can I
find you.
ban you?
Ban me? No, you can't.
We have John and Jim merchandise. You can click the link in the description down below.
That's
you can pick
correct.
up John and Jim t-shirts. In addition to t-shirts, shut up for 1 second.
No.
We have more, but wait, there's more. We have t-shirts. We have stickers. We have sweatshirts. We have my hat, this hat right here, which you can purchase in gray. I think I have this one. This one, yeah, heather gray. You get in black, which is pretty cool. I had that last year. In addition, let's just see what we have here on the wrap-up show. We have trucker hats. We have T-shirts for women. We have mugs that you can throw at your computer when Jim talks like Mickey Mouse. We have
That's not very
bandanas for
nice.
dogs. We have pins. So if you support the channel, if you want to pick up some John and Jim or wrap-up show merch, you can do so. Click the link in the description down below. Padres wrap-up show goes off the rails every day. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you see how I did that? Like on the
No.
fly?
How?
I just dragged it. Oh,
Ooh.
dude, look at that. Drag
That's
and
dope.
drop. Remember my first time on StreamYard? Well, it's great ball players tonight. And you gotta make sure that when you send a runner like that, I'm not really good with Coach right now. It's not.
Yes, you are. You're really good. First of all, Coach, if it wasn't for Coach, like, you should be thanking Coach. You should have sent him a wedding gift for filling in.
I always thank Coach. Coach sent me a nice note for my wedding.
Saying what?
Like, congratulations. You were a great couple. It was nice.
Thanks for the invite, did he say?
Thanks for the invite. No.
Oh, yeah. Did you see Coach start his own channel?
Fuck it. Why don't we just put the link in the description? Go follow Coach.
Hold on. I'll find it.
Go subscribe. Fuck us, right? Screw our channel. Don't watch our channel. Hey, John, do you want to go comment on more Ben Higgins tweets? Go right ahead. Do it.
What
you know
are
what
you
should also
talking
do,
about?
John? You know what you should also do?
I can't comment on Ben Higgins' tweets because I work for a different station?
No, you totally can. But you know what else you should do, John? You should promote everybody else's YouTube channel instead of our own.
Our stuff is more than I promote Ben and Woods.
Case in point.
I promote our stuff. Listen, if you're looking for more Padres content, you can check out Ben Fadden.
There you go. Check out Hog. Fuck it. Screw
check
us.
out Hog.
Yeah.
It's Coach Quintero. Who needs?
There was that one kid. There was that one kid that did his shows from inside his mom's bedroom that one time. I forget what channel that was, but go search him out.
Who was that?
I don't know. Remember, one of the first, we're like, what is this kid doing?
Dude,
He's
was weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've lost it. What did I say?
I don't know.
Promote a coach?
You're like, I'm just gonna fucking go look at Coach's channel.
I like Coach.
I love Coach.
There's room for everyone. I want to have Coach on the channel.
Just fucking do it. Let's have everybody on the channel. Screw it.
Actually, I want to have Ben Higgins on the channel.
I want to have Stephen Woods on the channel.
Perfect.
All right.
Text him.
I want to have Darren Smith on the channel.
Perfect.
Let's get him on. He's actually our colleague.
God. All right, I think that's gonna do it, right? I mean, this could go real. This is.
We just went off the fucking rails. This is it.
All right, people are okay. Here's the deal. Join us tomorrow, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, free iHeartRadio app right here on YouTube, of course, on San Diego Sports 760 as well. All right, hold on, we're not going yet. Moises, thank you for the super chat. He says John
minus 3 million.
Can we bet on that? I don't even know what happened today on the radio, but there were a couple of things. I'm like. Whatever you were talking about.
You were promoting tickets. I lost it.
Oh, you did lose it. And then the talk back feature, whatever, the John and Jim hotline.
By the way, hotline's open, guys. If you want to leave an angry voicemail on the hotline, the John and Jim hotline's open 24/7. Go to our Twitter page at John and Jim. You can find a link there. You're welcome.
Sure, we won't get to it until tomorrow.
Yeah, and we'll make sure to promote that we've only had one person do it.
No, 2 people did it.
Tomorrow will be 1, John.
Thank you, Moises. Thank you, JD Gaucho. Oh, Point Loma update.
Oh, great. I forgot to have our Point Loma channel talk about this tonight.
Okay, they're 1-1 so far in the College World Series. Elimination game against IUP. That's what they call Indiana University in Pennsylvania. You'll know that soon enough.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, it'll be my second job.
Okay, let me ask you this. Where did Aaron's dad play football? 3, 2, 1. Send the clip to Aaron. In addition to that,
he played.
You guys are married now. You don't know where her dad played football? I know that Kristen's dad played golf at Ohio State. I know. I'm not even married to her.
Where did he play football?
You idiot. East Stroudsburg.
That's right.
Yeah, it is right because
East
I know.
Stroudsburg. Okay.
Well, East Stroudsburg is in the same league as Indiana University of Pennsylvania, which you would have known if you had studied up on Aaron's dad before the wedding. Aaron's dad at the wedding, we were cracking up about this earlier, was like, Jim is the perfect husband for Aaron. He checks all the boxes, like, but one. And the one was like, he's not John Schaefer.
Joe, Aaron's dad, fucking loves John.
We spent a lot of time talking.
We were in the groomsmen suite and we're all like taking pictures. Meanwhile, you and Joe were like off in the corner, just like talking about like, I don't know what you guys were talking about. And he's like, I love you.
Dude, I know. We're like from the same neck of the woods. Like, we're boys.
You guys are boys.
We really are.
Yeah, even during his speech, he's like, he's like,
I met some great people this weekend.
He's like, yeah, Jim checks off most of the boxes. No, he doesn't check off all the boxes because he's not an Eagles fan.
Most. Meanwhile, Jim's speech is like, I want to thank our vendors.
Bro, that's not like a bad thing. I've been asking Aaron like all night long. I'm like, was me thanking the vendors like bad? She goes, no, that's what you should have done.
I'm not having this conversation. JD Goucher, thank you again. He says, was that a successor to the let loose line, Jim? Kind of.
Yes, it's like the let loose line.
What was the let loose line? Like when the Chargers lost, like let's call in and rip the Chargers?
It was a hotline that you could call into and
leave a message.
And like we literally left like a answering machine like message like, hey, it's the loose cannons. Leave your message here after the beep.
Right.
That thing went away. And then
I think it went away.
Just like the Chargers.
Yeah, but wasn't that because of the Chargers that it went away? You know, it was a good segment on the Cannons too back in the day before me. What was that segment
Headlines?
where all they did was rip the Chargers? Headlines? It was freaking funny.
I came up with that and it was great for like a month. And then
no, it's better than that.
Some of them became so bad. We're like, all right, what's your headline for the Chargers Browns game this Sunday? And people would call in or like text in or whatever, and they're like, Chargers lose, tough game to Browns. Phillip Rivers throws 3 interceptions, and they're on a 3-game losing streak. It was like, okay.
And Pete Spanos is a bad owner.
We were like, we need just headlines. And this one, I think Brentzel has it saved. This one guy called in and he could not speak, and he's like, the Chargers and the Phillip and it was so freaking bad, dude. And there was a lot of like Rivers runs deep as Phillip Rivers throws 3 touchdowns to Antonio Gates, or like Rivers runs a Gates something, and it was like, oh my god.
I didn't hate
when they played the Browns. It was like Chargers shit on Browns.
Wait, do you know the worst thing I ever did on like San Diego Sports 760? You know, like think about your worst moment on air, right? Like, what would that be? You have like 10 every day. So
fuck you.
Think of the worst. Seriously, what's the worst? Like most embarrassing, or like most exposing, or like getting something wrong or screwing something up? Is there something that comes to mind, or wrong information?
The most embarrassing thing on radio. I mean, I have a lot, so I don't really like have one that's like singled out.
Do you know this? You will be amazed by this, unless you already know it. So it has to be my first year. I was like producing Mark and Rich, and I think I was cutting up audio outside from 3 to 6, right? Like after Mark and Rich, it's 3 p.m. now. I'm cutting up some promo. And I'm sitting there in the newsroom, and I'm on my phone. And you know me, I'm not great with technology.
No.
But this is back in the Twitter checkmark era. And this is when Shohei Ohtani is a free agent coming over from Japan. He's down to like the Angels and the Padres.
Oh, no, you didn't.
So here's what I did.
Oh.
I see Jeff Passan He might have had like 3 S's. I have no clue. Or his name.
You
was
went
like Jeff
straight
with
to
3
you
S's.
went straight to Mark, huh?
I went right to Brent in the studio. I said, Ohtani signed with the Padres. Tell the guy.
Breaking news.
They played breaking news. Steve was like,
He's losing his mind, probably, right? He's like, hold on. We have breaking news.
Dude, this was 7+ years ago. I still remember it. And then after a minute or two, I'm like, oh, no, my bad.
I think the worst moment I had in radio, it wasn't anything I said, thankfully, yet. But when I was running the board for Charger games.
Oh, yeah, you're Mr. Chargers. Tell us your Chargers stories.
Dude. So
I'm kidding.
I'm like pretty green. Like I'm like brand new into radio, maybe like a year in. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm running the Chargers broadcast.
Yeah, easy.
Which is not an easy broadcast to run. And I had like in radio, there's like a log on Next Gen, and you know about this, right?
Kind of.
And what I had to do every day was like make sure the log was like right. And so I made sure the log was right. And right before kickoff, maybe like, I don't know, 2 minutes out, the open for the Chargers broadcast turns like orange and it like goes missing. And I'm like, what? And I had like 90 seconds to try to find the open for the broadcast with all the sponsor reads. Like it's like a 2-minute sponsor read into a bed going right into Josh Lewin. And I didn't play it. And I just told Josh Lewin, just go. You're hot.
He must have lost his mind.
It was dead air, and it was so bad.
It was like Chargers, Chiefs, and just like, you're hot?
Because I couldn't find the open.
Was that your fault, or it was just not there, or you were like 10 minutes late and you like just didn't do it?
Every time I did it, it was there. But somebody like put the end date.
Yeah, like it's moved or something.
So no, like the end date was like 2 days prior. So when something expires, it archives, and you have to like re-upload it or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, what the fuck? And then I get a call from B-Dub, and he's like, what the fuck, man? Because you
missed all the sponsors.
All the sponsors.
All that, like, today, week 3, Chargers, Browns.
Yeah.
Brought to you by
Coors Light and, you know, whatever.
Crew Health.
Yeah. Crew Health. Shout out to Crew.
I'm sure they're watching.
Dude, like, I remember B-Dub told me it was like close to like $1,000 mistake. Because we had
because they weren't paying anything. So it's like they paid you $1,000 for the day.
Because we had to like make good on those sponsors. And I'm just like sitting there like to Josh Lewin, you're hot.
I mean, bad. Radio is freaking tough. Live radio, it's amazing more things don't get screwed up.
And I'm just like yelling. I'm like screaming. I'm like, fuck, shit, like, I'm just like, oh my God. Right. Because I know this is going to be a disaster.
What was it? Hold on real quick. Remember this year? Was it this year? The Aztec broadcast we were doing pre-for from the studio at Oregon State.
Oh, but no one knows because it came off front.
But it was good. No, it was good. I was going to say it ended up working out. But they literally connected from Corvallis as at perfect time. Now here's Ted Leitner and Rich
10
Hornberger.
Seconds before we went on air.
And they're like, all right. And we played it off. But that's
get ready, buddy. That's your life.
And it was like technical issues can happen.
Yeah.
But it was like, and then I remember Brent's like, oh, John, you're just going to have to call the game from the studio. I'm like, what? I'm like, how? Like, what are you talking about?
Like what?
So
dude, now like that I've been in radio for like over a decade. Like if those things happen to me now, I would just be like, okay, you have to make an executive decision and you have to roll with it.
Yeah. If you miss something, you miss something. It can happen. There's technical issues.
You just literally just be like, okay, we're moving on. We're doing this. Like you just roll with it. Back in the day, I would freak out. To the point of like
freak out right now if it happened.
Like I'd be like, oh, like I would just be screaming and be like, I'm just cussing.
Dude,
oh, dude, it was
I kid you not. my 1 year of behind the scenes,
Must have
whatever,
been
Mark and Rich,
a disaster, right?
was a complete disaster.
Right.
Like, credit to Brian Long and Kyle Engelhart for allowing it, because I had no clue. You know me, I don't even know how to turn my microphone. I use the wrong mic on YouTube, and I've done this every day.
Correct.
So Brian, no joke, like 8 months in, would call the studio line and be like, their mics are hot at the ads. I'd be like, oh, that's my bad. I never was like, I don't need to turn them off. They can turn them off. It was a disaster. I mean, and I was so nervous about it because, I hated it. It was so hard.
Did I ever tell you the Mark Willard story? Me and him.
Let's hear it.
So, okay, Mark would do his show from Long Beach for some days, and Rich was in studio, or it might have, I think Rich was in studio, and actually, you know what? I think Rich was not in studio. So I think they were both on remote. Like they're both
remote. So one's on Long Beach, the other's maybe doing like a football game.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm back in studio and I'm their producer. And I remember we had like a guest on or something. And Mark
couldn't hear one of the hosts or something.
Mark couldn't hear anything, but like they were hot. And so I must have been like in a bad mood that day. And I like go down the line. I'm like, and I start yelling at Mark. I'm like, you're hot, you're hot, you're hot. And Mark's like just sitting there. And then he talks. And then during the break, he goes, Jim, don't you ever fucking yell in my ear again.
I can definitely see that.
And I was like, oh shit.
That is hilarious.
And it was like, it was in a tone of like, don't you ever yell in my ear like that ever again. And I'm like,
one of my favorites. Hold on. If Mark ever watches this, he'll crack up at this, maybe. One of my favorites. Hear me out. This has turned into the radio, like behind the scene radio channel.
We don't even care anymore. I don't care if one person's watching. Who cares?
Who cares? Hear me out. I'm just talking to you. If whether we're still connected or not, it's fine. Dude, we would do flipping headlines. Hear me out. Freaking flipping headlines. Worst thing ever. It's the hardest thing ever.
I booked like 3 guests for 2 minutes.
We would tape these. Remember guys like spanning the globe with Colin Cowherd? It'd be like, next stop, Los Angeles, Stephen A. Smith. And he'd catch up with like these big names, like 2 minutes.
Blogger X from like X website.
I one time had a guy that covered the New York Giants. We didn't even know his last name. We just called him like, I forget his name. It was like Brian. We didn't even have a last name on the guy.
Brian from GiantsLover like .org or something.
Seriously. But anyway, with the headlines.
Talking about the Giants.
His name was Weiss. We called him Weiss. That was his name. His name was Weiss. I don't know if it was his first name or his last name, but we said, let's check it on the New York Giants. Here's Weiss.
I remember calling people like actual, like I think.
No, you guys called Barry Melrose for headline.
For 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Like, hey, Barry, you got 2 minutes, bro? He's like, huh?
Dude. So just hear me out. Remember, so Mark the flipping headlines was just, they would ask one question each. It'd be like, Mark would open and be like, let's check in Philadelphia. He really is.
Yeah.
Let's go to Philadelphia where the Sixers lead the Celtics 2-0. Let's check in with like John Schaefer from like SixersBlog.com. And Mark would ask this question, be like, Mark or John, like, why is Joel Embiid like struggled to get going so far in the series? Then he would turn off his mic and I would just hear him in queue eating his cereal. Do you remember that? He would just be eating cereal like 10:30 in the morning.
And then to put together those segments was so
dude. I put them together and I didn't cut them, and I have like 3-2, and they'd be like
3-2. 3-2. All right, it's good.
But one time I cut them on, it was like 5 times. I would record like Milwaukee, Philly, New York, but I play Milwaukee first and third.
Oh my god,
so stupid. Nobody has any clue.
It must have sounded so bad, dude.
So bad. I screwed up so badly, dude.
Let's go to Milwaukee. Let's go back to Milwaukee.
It's in the text that I swear I just heard from someone.
Why did we just hear from Milwaukee twice? Oh my
Dude,
god. I'm
dying.
crying. Oh no.
God.
Oh, gee, dude.
Jesus.
Because I know exactly what you're talking about. And it just sounds so. So when
One
it happens, you can't do anything about it. You're like, oh shit.
One time we came back to it's time for flipping headlines. I forgot to put them together.
Oh no. Oh, I'm hurting.
Freaking out.
Oh, dude.
Jesus.
Oh my god. Because it's so relatable. I know exactly
people that know anything about her, me and you.
It's time for flipping headlines. Let's go to Baltimore. The time for flipping headlines again.
Dude,
3-2. Dude, the 3-2 got me good.
I'm pretty sure I had to race in one time from getting a drink where Mark was like, John, you didn't cut it. And it was just raw audio.
Oh, the line of dude, you didn't cut it. It's like, oh shit.
Do you ever? It's the worst feeling.
I've had it, dude. I've had that so many times. Nothing's worse than when you record an interview and then you play it, and the first thing you hear the interview is like, all right, you guys ready? All right, cool. 3, 2, 1. And then it's like, no.
Dude, that's where, again, this is where you credit Brent. Knock on wood.
Brent's very good at that. Yeah.
He knows how to do it. Man.
Honestly, I wish we did, Matt.
No, that's the thing. Nothing. We're just sitting here telling stories.
Holy shit.
This is what happens when you lose to the Angels in Anaheim.
We just go off the rails for 20 straight minutes.
God, hold on. There was a super that rolled in. I just want to get to from JD Gaucho. It says, anyone see that cringy parody song for the Oilers?
I saw the
saw something else.
Saw something else for the Oilers, and it starts with the word T.
Okay.
Here's okay. We'll end this on a Padres note.
Oh, you have a stat for us after this?
No, it's Tim Flannery.
Matt Waldron's got a 1.97 whip and it's ERA.
No, it's Tim Flannery. He commented on
I saw that. Thank you for pulling it up. Yeah.
He goes, Manny wouldn't have hit, like we said. They had first base open. They would walk him to set up the double play with one out. I had an old Cherokee saying after Knights being second guessed at third, it's easy to be brave from a distance. The team dictates the decision by not hitting or moving runners. Someone goes, 100% agree. Team wasn't hitting, had to send him piano on his back around third, though.
And he said that?
No, Ryan said that, or some guy.
Okay.
And then Tim goes, this coach at third base has been great all season. He gambled. He added it up. Relay was in the running lane. I told the owners in SF, quote, if you wanted safety first, you should have hired a school crossing guard. Holding runners up aren't guaranteed to score. He had the balls to go for it. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, kind of what we said is like when you talk it out and realize, oh, okay, you're going to walk Manny, bases loaded, one out, set the double play. It's a tie game 1-1. You're putting the pressure on the Angels to make a perfect relay play, which they did. Again, I'm not putting this loss on Tim Leeper at all. It's not.
Yeah, the truth is, dude, we've done this for 5 straight years, talking about every single game. Every year, there's going to be a controversial send. Of course, multiple. It's so many moments. It's so many innings. There's so many opportunities for it to either work or not work. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It'll happen again. If it's game 6 of the NLCS and ends the game, yeah.
Then we talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's a completely different story. This wasn't great. Could it have been a difference? Yeah, it could have been a difference. I don't think it was the reason. I think we both agree on that. Wow. What a show.
What happened tonight? Dude.
All right. If that's not reason enough to subscribe, the 140 people that are here live,
we love you all.
Yeah. Some of you are probably sleeping with like earbuds in or laughing in bed when their wife's like, you know, that meme, like he's thinking about other women. And then
Just watch the
little
wrap-up
bump
show.
over his head as he's listening to John and Jim talk about like behind the scenes radio stories.
Right. 3-2. Dude.
What?
Never mind.
All right. Please subscribe. Seriously, if you're here, 90-minute. Who's doing this? Who's doing a 90-minute post-game show? Now, this wasn't all post-game, honestly, but it's after the game, so it's technically post-game. Please subscribe here on content for Padres and radio fans. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Thank you for the super thanks. Great way to support the channel. Support our partners, guys. Seriously, that's the only way we can do this. We can't do this as often if not for the support of our partners. Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, our friends at Aura, Finn Leet, we've been telling you about. Click that link in the description down below. And again, if you want that $250 deposit match, a 50% deposit match up to $250 in bonus cash plus a free special pick, use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP at underdogfantasy.com or by scanning the QR code that's on the screen right now. Join us tomorrow, 3 p.m. San Diego Sports 760. Then tomorrow night on the wrap-up show. For Jim, I'm John. Peace.